Today, we're talking about something every landlord will eventually experience: tenant problems. Most tenants look after the property and pay the rent. Prior to the tenancy, the most important thing a landlord must do is good tenant referencing. This means verification of income, checking for county court judgments and credit history, and getting guarantors. Once the tenancy is live, the most important thing that can prevent problems from arising is good, regular inspections of the property. This will enable issues to be identified early, dealt with immediately, or support provided to help resolve them. Where problems arise, often it is related to poor referencing and checks prior to the tenancy, or inadequate inspections and feedback during the tenancy. We will cover the top 5 tenant issues and how you can prevent or resolve them with minimal costs. Please watch to the end as I explain how you can buy rental property and never have such tenant issues. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. T and I've been in the property business for almost 50 years. Here's a bit about me. In the 1980s, whilst working as a junior doctor, my hobby was computers, and I co-founded one of the UK's largest PC manufacturers with over 3,000 staff. Computer making moved to China, and during the past 17 years, I researched and analysed the UK property market and developed a property business for 100% passive investors, which currently looks after almost 3,000 properties and is now run by my children and over 100 staff. I really enjoy helping people with property investment and making videos like this. Please hit the like button, drop a comment below, subscribe, and hit the bell. Let's get back to the video. So I've listed here the top 5 tenant issues, and we will cover them one by one. The first one is late or missed rent payments. This is the main issue landlords worry about. Late rent disrupts cash flow, and if it becomes persistent, can lead to arrears and even notice to terminate the tenancy. It's important to set up a standing order for each tenant and communicate immediately if a payment is missed. Under the new Renters' Rights Act, you can give a notice to end the tenancy if arrears are more than 3 months. The second area is property damage. Tenants may not take care of the property and may damage it themselves or allow their pets to do this. It's important to have an accurate inventory at the start and do regular inspections to identify damage and educate the tenant, especially regarding ventilation and damp prevention. Also, clearly inform the tenant that they would have to pay for any damage themselves or from their deposit. 3 is antisocial or illegal behavior. The tenant may create excessive noise or be aggressive, resulting in complaints from neighbors. They may use the property for illegal activity, including dealing with banned drugs. It's important to collect evidence for this and liaise with the police and authorities, as this may be needed in order to evict the tenant. 4 is refusing access for inspections and for maintenance work. This can increase damage to the property due to the delays and result in higher maintenance costs. Where inspections are needed for safety reasons, it's possible to override any unreasonable excuses and deal with the repairs quickly. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's a good time. We publish content every week on UK property investing. Hit the bell and like. It really helps the channel and ensures you're notified when the next video is released. Number 5, refusing possession of the property. This is the most serious issue, where the tenant refuses to give possession even after a valid notice, for example, after more than 3 months of rent arrears. In such a case, the landlord has to evict the tenant by applying to the court. This process can be costly and take many months, resulting in loss of rent, which may not be recoverable. Even after a possession order is granted by the judge, the tenant may still not leave. In such a case, bailiffs need to be appointed, and this will result in further costs and delay. In summary, demand for rental properties is high, but it's critical that tenant selection is done properly to prevent such tenant issues. Otherwise, a tenancy can result in significant losses for the landlord. Fear of tenant issues is the main reason why many investors don't buy rental property. I can tell you that there are a huge number of investors who have funds depreciating in bank accounts that don't wish to take risks with financial products but would like to invest in rental property. Most are not aware of the fact that they can buy rental property without being the landlord and without having such tenant risks. They simply rent their property to a professional company, such as the sponsor of this video, who agrees to become the tenant and takes on every cost and every liability and pays them a fair rent. The company then sublets to their own tenants to get a higher rent than they pay the investor and handle all the landlord liabilities and costs, including all of these tenant issues as well. The investor simply gets the agreed net rent regularly with none of these tenant issues. The company deals with such issues and other landlord issues by being efficient and following tried and tested processes for tenant referencing and property inspections. The system means that in the unlikely event your property incurs such high tenant costs, you're not affected. Please watch the short message from our sponsor at the end on how such passive investment works. Thanks for watching.
If you want to invest in property and get 7% net rent, long-term capital growth, no costs or liabilities ever, do nothing yourself, and be living anywhere in the world, then consider Find UK Property. They provide 100% passive investment solutions for long-term income from freehold properties starting at under 80k. You get a property that is affordable, fully renovated, already rented out, contractually guaranteed and productive from day one. You become the owner and rent it back to Find UK Property so that they become your tenants and look after all aspects of the property in a fully compliant way. You never need to deal with tenants, estate agents, or do any property maintenance or repairs, or pay for any costs. Find UK Property look after over 2,500 houses, all of which are sublet to their own tenants. And on average, they get more rent from their tenants than they have to pay the property owners. So that way they can cover all the property costs. Their solutions are great for those wanting to retire on pension-type income or gradually build large property portfolios passively in a tax-efficient manner. Please visit the website at findukproperty.com and speak to a consultant today.